Hello, everyone. You will now hear a brief retelling of the first 2 episodes of Pretend. Its plot is based on real events. The year is 2008. Springfield. After Hurricane Katrina, Didi Blanchette and her 14-year-old daughter Gypsy are homeless. A charitable organization gave the family a new home, which they had just moved into. And the shaven-headed girl sits in a wheelchair, wearing huge glasses. The mother controls her every word. The girl calls the woman her best friend. Didi once again goes over her daughter's head with a razor. Afterward, they transfer her from the sink to a wheelchair and put a tube in her stomach to snack on. Didi feeds the girl liquid food mixed with medication exclusively through a tube. Gypsy has to sleep in an oxygen mask. The family's home medicine cabinet consists of dozens, if not hundreds of medications. She takes one or another drug according to her mood. A girl named Lacey lives next door to the Blanchards. She never managed to convince her mother to go and say hello to her new neighbors. So she went alone. All in pink, Gypsy watches cartoons and draws a prince. She immediately took an interest in the girl, because she never had any friends. Lacey volunteers at the local hospital. Sometimes they do makeovers for patients. Why doesn't she put makeup on Gypsy, too? The girl happily agrees and reacts violently to the fact that Lassie has a boyfriend. She also used to wear makeup for cosplay. She likes to dress up as Disney princesses. From around the corner, Didi tensely watches the process. Gypsy was delighted with her makeup. But here her mother immediately wet a rag and demanded that she rinse the nasty stuff off her face. She was too small for that plaster. Gypsy broke into tears. She wants to be like everyone else, but her mother won't let her. The next day, Didi and her daughter went out to say hello to Lacey and her boyfriend. Lacey's mother's name is Mel, the other neighbor's name is Shelley. Didi is told that her daughter had her submandibular glands removed. She has epilepsy, heart murmurs, and anemia. According to Didi, her daughter will never be able to take care of herself. Lacey offers her new neighbor a Coke, but Didi immediately squeals that she's allergic to sugar. At home, the woman tells the child about the horrors of anaphylactic shock that will happen if she takes even a sip of soda. Didi brought her daughter to the mall to buy her another pink item. Gypsy asks to buy her a pendant, but how to buy it, steal it while no one can see it. Gypsy gives her a ride, and Mel witnesses the crime. Didi gets worried that her neighbor might now turn her in to the police and wants to talk about it. But Shelley was the one who was visiting. It was, by the way, the neighbors who built the house for the disabled girl and her mom. They and others volunteer in the neighborhood. Mel hints that she really didn't like what she saw today. Gypsy doesn't have her own computer, she's only allowed to use her mom's laptop. She immediately types the words boyfriend and kiss into the search engine. Gypsy suggests that mom make a pizza. It will be a very tasty pizza, drenched in milk and shredded in a blender. The thick slurry syringe by syringe is poured down the tube and into the baby's stomach at once. To make friends with her neighbors, Didi throws a party. She walks around with a jar and collects donations in it ostensibly for her daughter's eye surgery. The kids surround Gypsy, who is dressed like hell, as she always is. However, she is much more interested in watching her neighbor's relationship with her boyfriend. In the evening, the girl drives up to them, but they immediately leave for the movies. Gypsy, naturally, is not allowed with them. There are tempting cupcakes on the table. While her mother is out of sight, Gypsy wants to try one. Just now Mel arrives, and that's what this was all about. Didi tried to pin the theft on the handicapped daughter, but, Mel, you can't fool her. Then the woman started squeezing out a tear, babbling that Gypsy didn't have much time left. And they didn't have much money. Then she saw her daughter with the cake, knocked it out of her hands, gave her a shot, and took her to the hospital. There she lamented again that 5 minutes more and Gypsy would surely have died. Mel drove up to the hospital, handed Didi her forgotten purse and suggested that we forget about the uncomfortable situation because she's a single mother herself and doesn't want to make life difficult for them. We are transported to the year 2015. The Blanchard house is cordoned off by police. The rooms are littered with hundreds of stuffed toys. A detective finds Didi Blanchett murdered in Gypsy's bed with many stab wounds. But Gypsy herself is nowhere to be found. 2008. Dee is babysitting her daughter as usual before going to bed, and afterwards, she's loaded up on pills. She gets a check for $1,500. She sleeps with her daughter in the same bed. At 11 a.m., Gypsy takes off her mask, gets to her feet easily, and walks to the refrigerator. The girl wanted to take a chance and see if she was really allergic to sugar. And the cream from the can didn't do her any harm. The thing is, she heard in the hospital that her mother gives her medicine, which already has a lot of sugar in it, which means that she has no problem eating sweets. It also makes her body stiffen from sitting all the time. Her mother stiffens Gypsy on her feet and immediately demands that she lie down and put on her mask. Gypsy falls asleep with tears in her eyes. 2015. The assembled neighbors try to remember the huge list of Gypsy's ailments. How could she have ever escaped in her condition? 2009. The girl drinks Coke straight from the bottle, eats ice cream by the bucket and candy by the handfuls while constantly watching makeup lessons. Didi received a letter that made her very happy. Gypsy was Springfield's baby of the year. No surprise there. Her mother has written so many pitiful things about her. A large number of people would gather to see her daughter. From her sweet tooth, she soon learned what tooth decay and toothache are. Didi is sure that her daughter's stomach acidity is what caused her teeth to go bad. The gastroenterologist can't believe that the girl had her submandibular glands removed. She's swallowing pretty well. That's why the tube can be taken out of her stomach. The girl was very happy, but the mother was rather inclined to find another, more accommodating doctor instead. After all, the woman does prescribe medication for the child's hyperacidity. She later asks the pediatrician if any of the girl's illnesses have been confirmed because of her enormous medical records. Also in the waiting room, Didi stole a stack of prescription writing forms. Maybe I don't need the tube anymore. But Mom doesn't think so. From now on, she'll talk to the doctors alone. While the detective examines the dead body, the neighbors speculate about who needed to kill Didi. While brushing her teeth, one of Gypsy's teeth fell out. She was frightened. Morning comes, and Didi prepares a mega cocktail of 7 drugs stirred into the liquid for her daughter. All at once it goes into the girl's stomach. She looks at the girls in the yard with envy. Her mother goes out of her way to let the wheelchair girl drive up to the neighbors. Besides the 2 friends in Lassie's room, she found a puppy and was very excited about it. The girls saw Gypsy's teeth and were amazed at how bad they looked. The girl confessed to her nocturnal adventures, and she is very afraid that her mother will find out about them as well. Dr. Lakshmi Chandra calls the therapists who treated Gypsy and finds out the details of her treatment. A social worker arrives at the Blanchards' house. Didi urgently forces her daughter to take some very bitter medicine, which makes her daughter shiver. Allison arrives because there is a complaint from a man who is concerned about Gypsy's safety. The social worker does not respond to the whiny woman and carefully inspects the house. Didi takes Gypsy out of the bathroom. The medication has already kicked in and the girl is awake. A sleepy Gypsy responds to questions in a lethargic manner. Her mother is tense. She forgot the stolen forms on the table. It turns out that the home's title and its insurance are in different people's names. Like the old medical records, Gypsy blamed it on Hurricane Katrina. They said there had been a mix-up with the paperwork after the disaster. What I don't understand is who complained to you. Have a nice day. The social worker's visit was very stressful for Didi. She seals the windows on the floor with transparent tape so that no one can look in. The woman is suspicious of Meg and moves in to pity her again. The neighbor assures her it wasn't her. Gypsy arrived at the dentist's office for an appointment. Already after the sleeping pills had been administered, the girl learned that her teeth would not be treated, but simply removed. She became very upset and cried. Gypsy came to her senses at home with a sore, swollen face. When she went to the mirror, she found out that she no longer had any teeth. As she bathes, she sits toothless in the bathtub and sobs bitterly. But her mother, as always, says everything is fine. Gypsy is post-op and has bruises all over her face, and Didi is fluttering around her and getting ready for her award. She's going to show it to everyone without even getting her new teeth in. My teeth, my face. Dr. Chandra calls the Blanchards. She's looking for an opportunity to see Gypsy again and show her to the specialists. Didi puts a bow on her daughter's bald head. What a beauty. But clearly it would have been better with teeth. Already before she went on stage, Gypsy had received a gift from her mother, a false jaw. But why did she torture her for so long and give her teeth only now? Under the lights of the footlights, Gypsy is rolled out on stage to receive the 2009 Child of the Year award. It comes with a generous gift of $5,000. Taking the microphone in her hands, Gypsy began to sing a love song in a squeaky voice. Her mother began to sing along. The Blanchardis arrived at Drive Chandra's appointment. Gypsy is alone with the woman. The specialist tells the girl that she is not allergic to sugar and suggests that she drink Coca-Cola right away. It may turn out later that the other diagnoses are invalid as well. Dr. Chandra replaced the probe. 2015. Lacey admits to her mother, and then tells the police as well, that Gypsy has a secret Facebook account. She used it to make friends and seems to have even found a boyfriend. Gypsy puts another unwanted toy on the bed. She no longer wants to sing along to her mother and locks herself in her room. Dear viewers, if you are interested in continuing the story of Blanchett and her mother's healthy family relationship, please let me know about it in the comments until we meet again soon.